What's going on, YouTube? Darksword255 here, and we are jumping into an account takeover. We are working on a fellow viewer's Hydra team. Well, you probably have seen this guy a couple times on the channel because I do a lot of stuff for him. And what's actually so crazy, and I'm a little bit annoyed about this, is during the last summon boosted event, we were actually ending up trying to pull for this guy. I loved this character, dude. He looks so sick. I was really hoping that I could get him. But anyways, so we were pulling on his account to try to get him. And ironically, in that pulling boosted summons, you had a choice between getting him or Firrol. Well, the first pull, he pulls this guy. Literally the first sacred shard, he pulls Firrol. I'm unbelievably jealous. I really want this character on my account. So what we ended up doing, and I say we as in me, I ended up building him, mastering him, booking him, and I made a Hydra team that I wanted to show you guys. Now this guy is great in a facet of different areas in the game. So let's go ahead. First, what we'll do is we'll jump into his kit. Number two, we'll jump into the reason I built him this way and different builds you can go on him. And then I'll show you guys the masteries. Okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and look at his abilities. Number one, his A1 attacks one enemy and has an 80% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. If the target is a boss, this will ignore 20% of the target's resistance, which is insane. I mean, that just means that you don't really need that much accuracy because of, you know, ignoring 20% resist. His A2 attacks all allies. Well, that'd be bad. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy buff and a block buff for 2 turns. If this is a boss, this will also ignore the target's resist. You guys are probably seeing a little bit of a theme here, right? You're ignoring a lot of resistance with all of these abilities. Number 3, his A3, sorry, places a 50% increased resistance buff on all allies for 3 turns. Also places a perfect veil on all champions except this one for 2 turns. Insane, right? So he's adding, and also like look at his aura, 60, like all allies by 60. So he is giving you 110 resist if he's the lead, like additional resistance, which is, again, that's crazy. And that's for your entire team. You're adding just so much extra resist. To become part of my team, click the link in the description right now to get Elenaril for free, as well as 3 more amazing epic champions as you level up. Here's how you do it. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC and uninstall it. Click the link in the description, register with a brand new email, launch raid, and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on this chance to get a free Elenaril along with 3 epics as you progress through raid. Click on my link right now and let's get started. And then this is what I really like with his passive, right? If any allies under 2 or more buffs, increase their resistance by 50. If an ally is under 3 or more buffs, increase their accuracy by 50. Like, is insane, right? If an ally is under 4 or more buffs, also increase their damage dealt by 20%. So you, with this champion, just on your team, you're adding an additional 50 resistance if you're under 2 debuffs. So now you're at 160 resistance. You're adding an additional 50, so it's easier for your champions to land their abilities, like their skills. And this is what is really important, right? If an ally is under 4 or more buffs, they increase their damage by 20%. Now, what do we know can also increase the damage of all your champions? That would be Firrol gear. If you look at Firrol here, if you have a 9-piece Firrol, allies deal 5% more damage per debuff placed by wearer. So for this guy right here, we are giving, I think it's 10%, right? Yeah, 10, if I can do math, right? 10% plus this skill right here, 20. So you're giving your team an additional 25%, if you build them in Firrol, 25% additional damage that you're able to do. And he gives you, like I said, he has a lot of utility. He is insane. And that's really the main reason why I built him in Firrol gear, because I'm really trying to maximize the amount of damage that we are doing in these runs, in these Hydra runs. If you want to use him for Chimera, if you want to use him as a progression champion, for like Doom Tower or anything like that. Like he gives you just so much utility because of the slows, because of the block damage, and the and all the just stats that he's giving all of your teammates. Now you have two options when you're building him. I guess technically three options. You have three options when you're building him. You build him in a bolster set. What does that do? Well, the bolster set gives you a shield based off how much HP you have. So if you want to immediately start the game off with an additional buff to like get your champions to that 3 immediately, right? Because you open up, you get a shield. And then on top of that, you put these 2 buffs down right there. Bam, there's 3 buffs right there. You're now getting that increased 50 accuracy, right? So you could do it that way. And then it just makes your entire team just that much tankier. Number 1. Number 2, you put him in a Firrol set because again, he's like, yes, he's his classification is defense, but you're building him to assist your team. His entire kit revolves around assisting your team. Third option, which is a little bit safer, would be a 9-piece protection set. Well, unfortunately, my boy Grims over here has no protection gear. So that was out the window. I could have gone with a 6-piece protection set, but it gives you a 50% chance of having a protected buff. And I would rather, in my opinion, have my team deal more damage to Hydra in particular than I would necessarily care about putting a protected buff. And with the team I'm going to show you guys today, I don't need the protected buffs because I already have somebody who's going to be a mischief target. So it doesn't really matter for this particular, the way I have him built right now. Now, in a perfect world, I would also have him in a little bit higher resistance and speed. But unfortunately, with the gear that I have, that Grims has on his account, this is the best that I was really able to do. Initially, his speed was at 200. I sped it up by 38 speed points, which is I'm happy with. You know, I'm happy that it's faster than 200. 200 is the bare minimum, but you want him to be going as many times as possible. Number 1. Number 2, obviously accuracy, so he can land his debuffs. You don't really need a lot of accuracy. As I explained, he's ignoring 20% of a boss's resistance. So you really don't need to build him with high resistance. Not resistance. I keep saying resistance. Accuracy. You don't need to build him with high accuracy. Now, I would like to have him just in general with a lot of resistance, but with the Firrol set, wasn't really able to do that. And again, it's not as important because I am building him into a Hydra team. Now, I've been working a lot with Grims to really maximize his Hydra because he barely hits brutal. Barely. When I say him, it's me. I'm doing it. So like it's very difficult for him to even like max out on brutal. So I'm hoping that with this addition, he'll be able to hit brutal and hit it hard. He'll hit it hard. Now, these are the masteries I went with. Now, I went with more accuracy instead of the resistance. Hell Hades has a set of masteries that is more like a resistance build. I went with accuracy. I want him to make sure, Lore Steel. He's landing his debuffs. He's going as fast as possible. You can, if you want higher resist than accuracy, you can go down this tree and go all the way down to unshakable here. Again, personal preference. It depends on obviously where you're using him. And that's what I really like about Raid here is it doesn't necessarily, there isn't 100% like a perfect mastery build for most champions. You can kind of do like wherever you're using your pieces of content, right? So let me go ahead and we're going to jump into Hydra, guys. And I will show you the team here. All right, guys. So this is the team that I have laid out right now. We have our boy Firrol over here leading. Now, obviously you don't want to use, I guess you can with Hydra. You want your best team to be the highest damage. Like the best you're doing is the best your team is, right? So like if the best team you can do is, let's say hard, then that is who you want your best team to be. And then so on and so forth. So this piece right up here is the team that I initially built for Grims here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a run on Brutal to see like how the original team goes. And then we will do a run to show you like to showcase this team right here to see if we're able to deal that much more damage. And we're going to have to, if this team does better, then I'm going to have to change up his normal Hydra. But this is what we'll do first. I'm just going to show you guys how the team runs before I showcase how, how much damage we're actually able to do here, right? So what we're going to see is, and this is a Hydra rotation 4. So the great thing about this, right, is if you have the headed torment, I believe if I'm saying that correctly, the one that puts True Fear, Firrol also puts the veil down, right, which is important. You don't need a Shamal. You can use a Shamal on like your lesser teams that are a little bit easier. I went with a Ganut instead of like a Ninja. Ninja would have been good here, or really anybody who can deal a lot of HP damage, like HP burn damage. The thing is, you want to have 2 damage dealers on this team in particular, because when one of them gets eaten, you need the other one to, that's why I have Thor. Thor, it can get Ganut out of the Hydra, and Ganut can get Thor out of the Hydra. If I wanted to make this team a little bit better, what I would do is I would probably put Lydia in a curse set to have a chance of placing Hex down on everybody. Is it needed? No, not really, but it would just kind of help out with a chance of landing like Hex, and then we're just going to be able to do that much more damage. And obviously this is a full auto run, guys. Like, I'm not doing anything. But what's going to happen and how the rotation's supposed to go, Firrol goes first. He puts the block damage, and he puts the decreased speed and everything down first. And then his next turn, he puts down the perfect veil, right? We have our Wix, who is our mischief target. Right now, look at all the buffs that he has on him. So he's our mischief target. I have him in really high resist. As you just saw, like, he just tried to yoink the Wix's stuff on him, and Wix said, nah, I'm not going to give you head of mischief. No, go pound sand. Like I said, not going to show you guys the whole run, because it's a lot of this unfortunately is RNG. You kill a head, it comes back. Sometimes you'll have a good run, sometimes you won't. But this is like just to showcase like how healthy this run is. Like, look at this, right? You can obviously switch out here. Actually, let's go ahead and end this. You guys can see how it runs, right? Now, let's give you guys some replacements here. Lydia, I'm using as just a decreased defense, and it also gives you more. She gives you strengthen and other buffs. You could use Ugo. I don't really want to use Ugo in this team because Firrol is also putting down block buffs. It's kind of like you're doing the same thing with 2 different champions. Ugo is a free choice that you could use. Obviously Lydia is a free choice if you have Lydia. Decreased defense is what you could put here instead of Lydia, number 1. If you wanted to replace Wix out, anybody who's a taunter, Visix, you can use Baldar, you could use Mullery. I'm definitely butchering some of their names, I'm sorry. I use Wix because he can continuously put down that taunt. He has a shield and a buff extender / shield extender. I'm using Python here. Anybody who does block, who is a reviver or also puts down block buffs on your team. So I'm using Python because the great thing about Python is his passive. It reduces damage for your team, as well as I have him in a protection set because I also use Python on Grims's account for Chimera, because he does not have like an Elva or a Duchess or anything crazy, unfortunately. So Python is the person I use on his account. Then obviously Thor, he's like for this account probably the best AoE like damage dealer, and also like Thor is just insane in general, right? And then Ganut, and Ganut could be swapped out for Ninja. He could be swapped out for, really, like I said, any damage dealer. What's important is you need to have a champion that can get Thor out of the Hydra, and you have a champion that can get, your other damage out, which would be Thor in this case, right? So a pretty straightforward team with Firrol. But what we're going to do is I'm going to showcase right here. So this is the original Brutal team that I ran with him. Now, this team right here that I'm running, it's a good team, but it has a high win-loss ratio. And we need to be able to get, 30 million damage? 30 million damage, right? This team is a pain because, yes, it does work sometimes, but like, I'm like skirting over the line at 30 million damage. That's the best that I've been able to get with this particular team. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to do a quick battle just so, and we can compare and contrast the 2 damages. Ready? Quick battle. And this is the problem that I was having. There's a lot of RNG that goes into this team, unfortunately. Also, like, Thor doesn't really do a lot of damage. And also this rotation, like, unless the head of Torment spawns, like, Shamal is kind of pointless, right? So with this original team, it will, like, if I ran this 5 times, it will do it. Or if I even hand did it, it will do it. But like, we're not here just to hand do it. We want to just click the battle and get it done and then dab, right? So that was 22 million damage. Let's go ahead and check out this team and see how much damage we do. Let's go ahead and let's run it. The first run, 65 million damage. First run, no problem. Thor did 33. So he, like, as we can compare and contrast, last battle, Thor did 8. So Thor did 33 million damage. Canute did 19. And then, wow, I'm definitely keeping this key, by the way. Definitely 100% keeping this key. But like, as you guys can see, you know, with these minor adjustments and just even, like I said, just getting Firrol over here, dude, he's so insane, man. So insane. Like I said, keeping that key. That was, dude, that's actually I'm so happy that I was able to showcase that, like, on this video, like a normal team versus one with Firrol, and the difference in damage. Like, we were able to get so many more points on brutal, right? Like, imagine that team on any of these other difficulties, right? You're going to be doing an insane amount of damage. So if you guys are interested in me doing more Hydra videos, showing you guys some different teams, walking you through how to really min-max your Hydra as much as possible, let me know down in the comments below, guys, if you like me going through these videos. I'm not going to showcase Chimera. I really just wanted to mainly like do Hydra, but or just kind of like showcase like you know, the differences in builds or whatever. But yeah, let me know, guys, down in the comments if you like these videos, and I will see everybody in the next one.